Bah. Hello, Internet. .com. Have you been playing, looking at, reading at, whatever else you can do with a game? Dragon Fighters? Dungeon Wars? The answer should be yes. It better be yes. Welcome to episode 9 of Getting to Know Your Dragon Fighters. Tomorrow, I'm going to say this and wait for an audible yell. Tomorrow is saying stuff about Shelby with Shelby. Shelby with an I and Shelby with an I, the character and the person, sitting in with me. And yeah, it won't be as creepy as me crying or sitting with a dog. It might be more creepy. I don't know. Shelby's a bit of a maniac. And probably we're mostly just going to talk about X-Files. So tune in tomorrow for what we think of Mulder and or Scully and Skinner and all of the wacky crew hunting aliens back in the 90s. If you want to know how old I am, we were all around here talking about how great the X-Files was. And Shelby, not Godiva, the character we're doing today, was like, "What's that? What's an X-File? I don't know." Oh, that's cool, because you know everything else about things that have been around since long before I was born. I don't know anything about Gundam. I really don't know much about the Lords of the Rings. But she knows all of that stuff. And she was born basically the same day X-Files started. And I was... maybe I was just in junior high then. So I wasn't an old... I'm not an old man. But I mean... She was born when the thing... Never mind. I'm an old man being cranky about video games over here. I'm gonna do an episode where I just get angry at Angry Crush, at Candy Crush, and blah blah blah, bling 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 blah. So this is Godiva. If you look over to the right, there's a semi-fancy render of her, and this is her in her not a whole lot of clothes wear, because you know, she's an ice mage, so she doesn't need it. She doesn't get cold. She is the cold. She brings the cold. You know, ice to see you and other things that Arnold Schwarzenegger did to ruin a pretty fun scientist character and make him into an idiot. So, we go into her upgrades. I've used her before. We've seen her fight and whatever. You know, she has, you know, her ice beams, giant ice spear chunk, crazy... ice, whatever you want to call them, shards jut up from the ground to hit things, and she encases things in ice. And coming soon, this year or sooner, depending on how her flux capacitor department's doing, she'll actually be able to freeze people like, "Oh, I'm slow motioning, now you can get away from me," and other deals like that. So in her headgear, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, she has a lot of my favorite hairstyles and hair accessories out of most of the characters. I mean, Derek's pretty up there as a favorite, but ever since day one, even the old Godiva that didn't quite look like this, but again, she's one that's always been kind of this person. She might have been kind of a green elf. I think the Ice Mage people were elves, and at one point, she was a guy named Merrick Northman or something. Yeah, it was some letters swapped from Eric Northman from the Walking Vampires, the Bon Temps Vampires of True Blood with a U, no E. There we go. Anyway, nonsense. Now she's loosely based on a couple of different characters, or a couple of different actors, real people. I think she might have Halle Berry's mouth. Either way, she's beautiful. Regular hair, equip her slightly more upgraded hair. I think it just looks awesome. Then, I'm just going to skip over that for a minute, because then we're going to talk about some things. Her Adept Enchanted Coldstone hair, or I guess the Coldstone is the thing in her head that's going to give her some extra power. I really love this. Like, I don't know, again, like, pretty much just said, "Hey, Shelby, go nuts. You know what we're looking for here," and she did. So we go from that one, and then the next one, I have a hard time not just picking this all the time. As I've said before, I usually go for aesthetics over checking the little info box and the power and what it actually does. Again, with the power that I have to cheat and get my own free money, I will just get what I want and then upgrade it as hard as I can, as far as I can, and try to play with the character how I like them, and which is going to get even more difficult for me because Shelby's literally 4 feet away, making more costumes that I want on these characters, and I can't wait. Master Royal's Ice Tiara. These names I didn't come up with. I came up with the original names, and then Andrew and Cameron, hi guys, they came up with names that were more cromulent, that made more sense to the actual progression of things and related to what they were, not just my bizarre words that I like to come up with from old English dictionaries on the internet. So I feel like this one's super cool too. It's got that thing. Lots of points everywhere, and just very nice, I'm gonna say structured hair, nicely styled. Is that what the ladies like to hear? Your hair has a nice structure, lady. We should date. And that's why nerds don't date. And then the master enchanted headdress. That's basically a big epic battle crown. And of course, once we get to the higher levels, things have extra magic in them for your magic pleasure. Torso-wise, this is where it gets fun. This is I already maxed this out before, so if I put this on and go out fighting, I'm gonna do a lot of damage. So that's kind of some light armor there. It still looks like it's a bit of fabric, maybe some mail in there. Then we got this. I'm more apt to call this an outfit than armor or protection, because I mean she is basically half naked. And in the world where most of these types of games, all the ladies are basically naked, and then you upgrade them to smaller straps and maybe a piece of metal somewhere around their top of their ass crack or what have you, and that's wonderful, I guess. We try to be not perverts around here, even though if you check some of the games that I've personally made, which I don't think exist anymore, they're purely based on being crazy and weird, and I won't talk about that because I'll get in trouble. So then we move up to some royal armor, so it starts to get a little more crystally, a little more solid looking, tougher. Then we got this little fun blue outfit here. It's getting a little Korra-ish. And yeah, it's on purpose. I love Korra. You love Korra, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you or you haven't seen it. And Shelby loves Korra more than you and I put together. So we said, hey, Korra that up a bit, because we want the Ice Lady to be like the queen of the Ice Ladies, Korra the Explorer. Which is what I assume that show is from. I've never seen it. She solves mysteries with a guy named Diego and a backpack or something. Also, she harnesses elements. It's a great show. So, I'm gonna start doing pants, but, so whatever. That's her in her underwear. So we got her second level pants. I'm gonna actually put these outfits together so you can see what they're supposed to look like all together. So pants top combination. Go down next to the pants. Oh, I wanted to save that one for later because that's special. And then her half naked, the little outfit there. Oops, I didn't click on it. Look how nicely that goes together. Delightful details on the little flap that keeps her safe. And royal. And royal. Yeah, looking pretty tough. And oh, network. The network. Come on, people. Oh, people now. Smile on your brother. You gotta love one another. And keep the network running right now. I don't know how. I don't know why. The internet works. I don't know where it is. I'm pretty sure that there's Wi-Fi's going through my body at any given time, which I don't really want to happen, but it's the only way I can get stuff, in my computer, is by allowing things to pass through my body all day long. So we're gonna just go and jump back in. Beep, beep. And away we go. So that's her heads. Now, this. That's a nice little comfortable battle outfit for battle. And then super souped up outfit. Magic everywhere. This one's the best because when she moves, she kind of skates because she's like hovering on a thin strip of ice. And having yourself super leveled up, it increases that magic because then there's all kinds of like snowflakes basically coming off you, and that's a tip and a trick. Upgrade yourself as high as you can so you can enjoy it visually. Or you can check the stats down in the bottom right hand corner as you change the things and on all the things to make your character the actual most powerful and best for playing the game. Or you can play dress up and have fun like me. Weapons. So we start with a crazy staff that doesn't have a ton of power damage, but it's fairly average compared to most people's gear. And you see like the range gets a little bit higher, the damage gets a little lower, so you know we trade off up and down, but then once you upgrade it you can literally use the upgrade button to crank these things up. So we got this frozen staff. She also comes with swords, so a few characters, although everybody kind of like shoots a projectile, some of them are just melee close up. I still thought it would be fun to basically use a sword as a staff. Why not? Why can't one stick be substituted for a slightly sharper stick that also shoots energy? It's not that, the stick even does the job, really. It's just a conduit for her actual powers. If you need that justified, as some people might. And then we have staff gets a little bit crazier, and then gets even crazier, and I don't even want to show you anymore. And then the sword gets bigger, so there's a good 3 variations of each thing, and then each of those has about 10 upgrades that you can do till you get to the most powerful. Or you can throw in a pile of money, or really work on saving your gems and buy them all right away. But that's up to you. I've spent a bunch of my money, but I've equipped most things. I really love this scepter, or staff, sorry, the Master Frozen Staff. A lot of these things, I literally did nothing. I'm just like, hey guys, staff, scepter, sword, here's some ideas, vague as they may be. Do your thing, you're artists. And then again, Shelby and Clyde come back with cool stuff like this that I can't get enough of. And the Master Frostblade, I mean, how could that not be your favorite? Between these two, like, I very often have a hard time when I do sit and super upgrade Godiva or any of the characters, choosing between weapons that I want, again, based on a visual reasoning, just because, like, I think it looks cool, but I also think that the staff looks cool. How do you decide? You can't, so you go to the pets. Now, everybody has a different set of pets. Maybe someday we'll mix and match, maybe someday something else. Who knows? But at the moment, the pets are there to help. They'll regenerate your health, they'll regenerate your mana, they'll increase your speed, they'll do a few different things depending on basically how much you pay for them and what level you're at when you unlock them, because they are just power additions and they just hang out with you. Eventually, again, we'll add the ability for them to go and do stuff, so while you're out there battling things, they will also whip out and battle those things. But at the moment, we're doing what a lot of other games do, where they just chill out with you and watch Netflix. But apparently that doesn't mean what I think it means, and that's okay. So we got the Frostworm Hatchling. So he's an adorable little guy. And if you want to know a super secret backstage pass secret to this game about the pets, let's say 20% of the pets? Yeah, let's go with 20. I don't know how percentages work. A very low percentage of the pets, but some of the pets are actually the old bad guys. Like, they're the dragons you were supposed to kill and murder when the game first started. We had like a handful of dragons, and it was like, here they are, they're adorable and they're cute, they look like pets, let's kill them. And everybody was like, hey, why are we killing these like super pet-like guys that are too adorable. They should be pets, and then the bad guys should be like, you know, bad guys. And we didn't know we could get away with that at the time. I made anything dark or creepy looking. The people at the iTunes store or whoever, the gods of putting games out, would say, "What's wrong with you guys? This is dark and violent and crazy. You can't have a cat that's clearly 8-bit and not real have its head fly off and blood spurt everywhere." Meanwhile, they had a game that was about dogs having their heads chopped off and blood splurting everywhere. But whatever, you're allowed to do it to dogs, but not cats. You're allowed to eat cows, but not dogs. The world's a crazy place. So from the Frostworm hatchling, we can upgrade. We can go get ourselves an older, more experienced Frostworm, and he's a little more terrifying. If I had to compare him to anything, it would be the Bat Gremlin from Gremlins 2, the new batch, which is a movie that nobody watches because it's not Gremlins 1 for sure, but it's still pretty fun. I will never tell anyone not to watch Gremlins 2 because it's still really fun, but it's insane and it's bad. I mean, Leonard Maltin's in there, and then I think he might give it a pretty bad review after the fact, even though he's in the movie. But the only goodness the review gets is because he was in the movie. At one point, that Bat Gremlin that gets changed into a Bat Gremlin through science smashes a bat symbol from Batman in the wall, and I think that even they put a little trademark in the corner just like they did with Batman. And honestly, I think I was at the age that sold me. That one scene might have sold me on that entire movie, because it wasn't too long ago I watched it again, and it's bananas insane. Like, bananas, nuts, crazy, whipped cream. There you go. But not in a bad way. In a medium bad way. And then we have the mature Frostworm, which also reminds me of Gremlins, but that's only because I've been talking Gremlins for the last 5 minutes, and I really shouldn't be. And that's pretty much all the things that Godiva has to go on. So I guess we'll, just for fun, for S's and G's, we'll go and do a level. And watch her powers in action. I feel really bad when I stop talking while stuff is happening, but I've been watching other people's Twitches and other people's Let's Plays, and most of them don't say anything. And I mean, a lot of these games are very cinematic, and it is like watching a movie, so no big deal. Like, of course, like, shut up, I'm trying to watch the movie, this makes sense. Meanwhile, why aren't you talking about this movie that you like? Why have your face in the corner of the screen if you're not gonna say anything? And I don't know, you know who I'm talking about, Matt. I'm talking about you, Matt. I know you're watching, so there you go. Shout out to the other Curtis. I noticed he was watching. I don't like the word shout out. Now that I've said it, it feels filthy in my mouth. I'd rather just say, hey, how's it going? But shout out to Shelby, though, seriously. A quiet murmur to Shelby, who can hear everything I'm saying, and I can hear her giggling at this and the antics of Mulder and Scully. I cannot wait till tomorrow where we just talk about the X-Files. It's gonna be great. And she hasn't seen the new X-Files yet, so it's also killing me to have Shelby talking about so many episodes I don't remember, because it was 100 years ago when I was 5, when I saw them, and wanting so badly to be like, oh, well, that's just like how in the... Oh, you haven't seen it yet, because you're a little baby who just got introduced to the X-Files 45 minutes ago. But thankfully, it's burning through every season so fast that now I have to burn through every season so fast to get caught up with the stories that I'm hearing while I'm playing the game, while we're making this game. Oh man, this level is super hard now. The other thing that's great about this is I'm on, you know, I'm usually playing on the test version of the game, and just about every day, oh snaps, Andrew, the level guy that I complain about all the time, he keeps updating the levels. He keeps making them better, harder, faster, or easier in some cases, but for the most part, oh, come on. I want to try and do this without, no, I can't do it with just the one. And again, like, I don't know, this is a tip and a trick. It gets pretty difficult, so you do actually need to have 2 to 3 heroes in your party to make it through these higher end levels, because one just won't do it. I'm very surprised I made it. Like, this is literally the last room, and I made it all the way here with just Godiva. I don't think I've ever really done that with one hero before on these levels. Mike's mom, who I mentioned in a few other episodes, she beat the game. Or, well, she got as far as the levels that we've built so far. We still got to put the other ones in, but I mean, that's up to like level 60. And I don't know much about moms, other than most moms don't get up to level 60 in video games that we make. When I tell my mom about the game, I'm playing the game and making videos, and we're making a game. And her answer is, yeah, that's great. I'm happy that you're happy. Computers and internet. Yep. And I'm fine with that. That's okay. Everybody doesn't have to be into what everybody else is into. I don't need to understand everything that my mom does, and she doesn't need to understand everything that I do. You know, Hakuna Matata, Masavenya, Circle of Life. Download, play, share. I don't know what else you can do. Whatever you can do to make me feel even better about this game, do that as soon as humanly possible. And I love you. Yes, I love each and every one of you. If I had a mirror, I pretend that I could see you through it and try and say all of your names, like Matt and Curtis and Craig and Susan and Shelbo the bear. Good day.